Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the next video in my Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to read you a chapter from the Bible. Today it will be the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before this Eliashib the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was allied unto Tobiah. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priests. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes king of Babylon came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. And I came to Jerusalem, and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah, in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. And it grieved me sore, therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I commanded, and they cleansed the chambers, and thither brought I again the vessels of the house of God, with the meat offering and the frankincense. And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them, for the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled every one to his field. Then contended I with the rulers, and said, Why is the house of God forsaken? And I gathered them together, and set them in their place. Then brought all Judah the tithe of the corn, and the new wine, and the oil unto the treasuries. And I made treasures, and over the treasuries, Shelemiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and of the Levites Pedaiah, and next to them was Hanan the son of Zaccur, the son of Mattaniah. For they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto their brethren. Remember me, O my God, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God, and for the offices thereof. And in those days saw I Judah some treading winepresses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and loading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish, and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, What evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us, and upon the city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath? And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them, and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates, to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. And those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? And one of the sons of Joiada, the son of Eliashib the high priest, were son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have defiled the priesthood, and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleansed I them from all priests, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, every one in his business. And for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my God, for good. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. This being the last chapter of Nehemiah, of course, the verse that stands out very beautifully is this, Nehemiah 13:26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. And it's very powerful stuff, because there's no denying how great Solomon was as a man. You know, they said he was the wisest and the richest man in the world. Human being, I mean. And I think that it's very powerful because Solomon really was that great. And Solomon really was, he really became that corrupted. And, one expression is that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I don't know if that's necessarily applicable to Solomon. When I think of absolute power, I think of God. But the idea being that power makes you more of what you are, right? They say money makes you more of what you are. Power also makes you more of what you are in a way. As you have more and more privilege, more and more power, you end up doing more and more of the things that you want, whatever they may be, good or bad. And there's no denying that Solomon worked very hard, was very smart, was very wise, and was very rich, and was very lustful, very adulterous, very sinful. And that's what's so powerful about the Bible, is that the Bible tells the truth. It tells the unfiltered truth in many ways. And I'm not saying that for flair. I very well and truly mean it paints an honest portrayal of who Solomon was. That both he was a great man and a great king, and his sins were bad. Because the previous verse before this reads in Nehemiah 13:25, and I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Again, a theme we've talked about many times in the Old Testament, God saying you should not intermarry with the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Hittites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, Ammonites, yeah, you name it. You should not intermarry with them. Marry Israelite to Israelite. That's what you should do. And of course, then we read about Solomon, where it says, Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. That idea being that no matter how great Solomon was, what people remember about him. You see, the language is very beautiful in this one verse. Read here, Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. So you get two negatives surrounding one positive. The idea being that his legacy is wrapped in sin. That's that imagery that it invokes, You start with the sin, then say he was great, and then end with the sin. And so that idea being that he was defined by his sin instead of defined by his greatness. And that's a very powerful thing to learn from. And so with that, I'll go ahead and end the Bible reading there for today and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Dive video. Since yesterday's Daily Dive video, I worked my software developer job. I created this Daily Dive video for 4/27/23. And without any further achievements, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.